Oh shit. Myself set up here. Alright, you can see me. What up, everybody? We are live today. Gonna just do a little shorter video today. Ohm's law and battery safety. The importance of why every vapor should know both. Why every vapor should know Ohm's law and understand battery safety. In the right way. Yep. You have to excuse me. Beautiful. I'm gonna grab a drink. I'll get this fucking show on the road. Cheers, homies. Homies and homettes and boys and men and women alike. Cheers. Week's halfway over. Alright. Where to begin? Ohm's law is the basic of what vaping is. Without it, vaping doesn't matter. Like, vaping couldn't exist. It doesn't matter. It doesn't exist. And so that's why we need Ohm's law. Now, I'm going to bring up a very important app that I use, if I can find it on here. Now, you can go online. My Wi-Fi set up here so I can actually use it. So you can go online, and all you have to do is type in "What up, Aaron?" So all you got to do is type in a combination of ohms, watts, volts, and amps, and pretty much any of that combination, and you can pull up a calculator online. I use rapid tables. I use it religiously, pretty much no matter what. Even if I feel comfortable, I always double check. And all you need is two factors, because you have resistance, amps, voltage, and watts. And so let's say I'm running, okay, so let's say we have a 4.2 volt battery. Oh shit. God damn it. So let's say we have a 4.2 volt battery, okay, because that's how much a fresh battery is off the charger, and you want to run, and you're like, oh, well, what should I set for my resistance to be if I want to run it at, say, 80 watts? Okay, so like a dual coil, 80 watts, at a voltage of 4.2, and you just type in, you have 4.2 for your voltage, and you want 80 watts, hit calculate, and it brings up everything you need. A 0.22 ohm resistance, and your amps is about 19, which is perfectly safe. And all you gotta do is hit reset, and you can enter it in again. And this is where you can discover what is. Oh, what up, Bradley? Good to see you joining in here. And so it really helps people understand how low they can really go on a, per se, if you want to run a single 18650 or a 2700 or 21700, all depending upon what kind of batteries you want to run. So the lowest you should safely go on any mech. What up, man? Just doing my little live video. I got a hot date with my mom tonight. Oh, just a phone call with her, see how she's doing. Love my mother, and everyone should love their mother. So, because I'll just do a little demonstration. So 0.15 for the ohms, 4.2, even though 3.7 is nominal, but always just play it safe. Just simply do, especially for beginners. This is definitely, it's good. That's right, fist bump. Always gotta love your mama. She's the only one out there in the world for you. So this video is definitely dedicated towards a lot of people who want to get into mechs. They're not sure of where to go with Ohm's law. So we'll just start with a really safe resistance level, 0.15 for your resistance and 4.2 for your volts. It's for a 2700 or a 21700, that is perfectly safe. You can see that it's about 28 amps at about 117 volts, or watts, sorry, not volts. So it's a really excellent tool to use. I've used it countless times. It's how I learned how to build a series, which actually I got my parallel box set up. So a series, and these are Sony VTC A5s or 5As, which are top of the line, some of the best batteries you can get for series. Anything 18650 series batteries, or Samsung 20S's, the blue ones, 30 amp output. These are a 25 amp output with my hex ohm clone. It has a variable voltage. And it hits very smoothly. I got the bonds on top. And I know that I have I think I have a 0.28 in here, maybe a 0.3, somewhere right around there. Right about 50%, so that would be at, let's just look it up here real quick. So reset, the resistance 0.3 at about 4.2. It's about 14 amps. So both batteries are putting out 14 amps, and it's only at about 58 watts. It's probably a little more because it is a PWM. I'm not a professional on PWM by any means, but that's the best way I understand it. Like, crank it up to about halfway. Excellent vape. Very tasty. So then, moving on to some different kinds of batteries. There's a lot of people out there that use EFES batteries. Now, don't get me wrong, they're okay batteries for regulated mods. Anything that has a board in it or some kind of a chip, anything that you can regulate the power and has a chip with feedback, that they're okay. Because there was pretty much a huge issue with EFES batteries about 3 years ago. People were finding out that they were rewraps and they're not really to be trusted in what it says on the outside, because it says that there's 3,000 mAh and a 35 amp draw at nominal 3.7 volts. That's really not accurate at all. Everyone wishes it was, because then they'd probably be the best batteries out there, but that's not accurate. It's, never use anything like an EFES or even like the Imrin batteries. They're like purple and blue and a bunch of other different colors. Anything that's not from the big four, Sony, Samsung, Sanyo, and LG. If it's not any of those, don't use them in a mech. Unless it's Molicel. Molicels are pretty good. Kalashi and iJoy. Those are really the only trusted for a mechanical mod style of battery that I would ever trust. And then you got some big fuckers. Now these are Samsung 40Ts, 21700, 30 amp limit, which pretty much means it can continuously put out 30 amps at a safe limit and it won't harm the battery. It's safe for the battery to run up to 30 amps and it's going to perform fine. Anything above that, and eventually you'll slowly start running into problems. Which, I'm just going to be straight up and honest, there's a lot of fucking idiots that run batteries way too hard and high than what it is they're capable of taking. And it drives me nuts. Because you see it and you try and call them out on it, they're like, I don't know what I'm doing, I've been vaping for 20 years. It doesn't matter if it's been 20 years or 20 days. It's not okay to push something that has the ability to be dangerous. It's like poking a lion. Be like, I know if I don't poke you, I'll be safe because there's this big fence, but I'm going to open up the fence and poke you. It has the potential. Just don't be dumb. Be smart and follow Ohm's law and understand what your batteries are capable of. In case you're wondering, that's electrical tape. One of the first times I ever used this, I actually took it out and it scratched up the edge a little bit, but if you have, just like in an emergency, if you have a little bit of electrical tape, throw it on there, make sure it's nice and smooth. It works until you can properly wrap it. I don't have like a proper, I have a hairdresser, but the hairdresser sucks. And so getting these wrapped, most of my local vape shops don't do that, which really fucking sucks, but whatever. Fuck them. Actually, not fucking. Fuck one of them, because one of them is awesome, and they understand and they take care of the customers, and the other one, they're like, oh, open box, ain't no put together, we sell anyways. And I'm like, you fucking idiots. But whatever, I don't really care. I do, but there's nothing I can do about it. So what is everyone up to tonight, huh? I know there's only like 2 people in the stream, but those 2 people, you matter. You matter to me. That's what matters. So this is my Tugboat Clone Mod Parallel. Both run negative to positive. Now this is a bit of a different situation, okay? Because this is in series. I have like a 0.36, 0.3, somewhere right around there. And in that Addy, I have dual, it's the Wotofo Aliens, dual Aliens, running at a 0.1 ohm. Very excellent vape on a parallel box mod, or per se, if I were to run this on a regulated mod, I'd probably run it at between 90 to 100 watts, because there's a lot of metal in there and it requires a lot of power to heat up fast enough to produce a decent amount of vapor, which at about like 100 watts is like the sweet spot. It's perfect vape. Now you're probably wondering, well, what's the difference? And I think I know I've gone over this before, but I will kind of go over it again. So in a parallel box mod, the amps are split by the batteries. Okay, so we'll bring up my little ohms calculator. Resistance 0.1 at a voltage, because it's 2 batteries, but it's in parallel, they don't stack, so it's 4.2. It says 42 amps and 176 watts. But because it's in parallel, those amps are actually split between the batteries. So it's actually 21 and 21. And since these are 25 amp batteries, that's safe. That is a safe amount of power that they can put out and produce. And it doesn't really hit like 176 watts. You could fucking tell if it did, because that would be pretty fucking insane. But it doesn't hit like 174 watts. It hits closer to like 80 watts, which it's still a good vape for what it is. Now I know there are more than likely going to be a lot of people out there. It always happens. I've seen it before and I'll see it again. they try and explain that because, well, I have these coils in it, or that coil in it, or this or that somehow it matters in what the Ohm's law is, in what they can run. And to a very certain line, yes. So per se, if I were to want to run this at the full 8 point, what is it? Would be like fucking 8.4 volts all the way up, I would have to have like a 0.6 to a 0.8 in here. Now, if you were to look at like a mouth to lung coil, which is a 0.8, it's a tiny ass little fucking Clapton, you would not, because that tiny ass little Clapton. Am I still here? Or am I fucking gone? Okay, I think I'm still here. Okay. So that little 0.08 tiny coil wouldn't be able to handle that amount of power. These are two nice, big, juicy, beefy fucking Claptons. You know, it can handle that. It can handle that power. Well, technically, it won't be able to handle it at like 0.82 volts. That would just be nuts. It would singe the shit out of the juice in my mouth, and I would not appreciate that. And so, I hope this has helped, or if anyone that comes across this video and watches it and goes, oh, now I understand Ohm's law. Well, I'll go over the actual equation of what Ohm's law and how it works is. So if you have a phone, even just a fucking table calculator, super easy to understand Ohm's law. Okay? And it's amps equals volts divided by resistance. So if I want to know the amps, I take 4.2, or if you have two batteries and stacked, and then you would do 8.4, but let's just do one battery, just keep it simple. 4.2 divided by 0.15. That would equal 28. So just to double check the math, you go back in here, and let's do voltage, 4.2, resistance, 0.15, calculate 28 watts. Very simple to understand. Just take your voltage, divide it by your ohms, and that's what your amps are. And that's why if you were to take 8.4 volts for a stacked mech mod, and let's say, oh, I just want to do like a 0.3. So 8.2 divided by 0.3. Oh shit, that was wrong. 8.4 divided by 0.3. 20. Oh. That can't be fucking right. Voltage. 8.4 divided by 0.3. Let's do 0.3. Oh, I guess it was right. So if you were to do like 0.84 with a 0.3, which is like the lowest of the lowest you can go on a stacked mech mod, actually 0.35, 28 amps, 235 watts. That's one fucking hell of a hot vape. Let's just be honest about that. So I hope this has been semi-informal. I hope this has helped people understand Ohm's law, understanding the proper type of battery you use in a mechanical versus a regulated mod. And always check your batteries before you put them in. You know, you can kind of see there's been some wear and tear on these from the use. You know, they do need to get rewrapped. I do understand that. But I don't use these very often. So, but always check your wraps, go over everything, make sure there's no, big tears or even little tears really. And if you don't have the proper wraps, like a proper heat gun or anything, just use some electrical tape set it off to the side, or, as long as it's protected and it's safe, then you can be safe. I hope this has helped a lot of people. I hope if anyone has any questions, like I said in previous videos and in this one, always feel free to message me or any of the moderators, any of them. Ugh, it's like fucking hot as hell in this apartment. I hope you all have a good Wednesday and a good rest of the week. Until next time, for anyone that's been, following, I think I'm going to continue to do the Wednesday night schedule right around 7 o'clock. It's kind of, if that works for me, I think it works for some people. Hopefully next week I'll get a guest, if anyone's interested, and if you stayed along the video this long, if you feel like you could be the person for that next video, which would be, I think we should do some vape advocacy, especially with everything that's been going on in the news. If you've been watching, if you watched Grim Green's stream earlier today, pretty much the World Health Organization pretty much just took a huge shit on vaping, and then with all the shit that happened in Wisconsin, for those who are unaware, basically a bunch of kids were vaping THC oil and who knows what. They have no fucking clue, but they just threw vaping in there because they figured, oh, now we can just pin it on vaping. Vaping is the bad guy. Because Wisconsin is full of fucking cheesehead idiots. I'm from Minnesota. I can say that with pride in my heart. So until next time, until next week, vape on and vape safe, and I will vape on and vape safely. I will see you next time. Peace.